It is a big day today. Hello, welcome to the Happy Families podcast. I'm so excited. The brand new book, Boys, Building Strong Young Men from the Inside Out. It's here. It's arrived. It's on the shelves of the bookstores. And today, we're going to talk boys.
Well, today, actually, you are going to sit in the passenger seat because I'm going to drive our podcast. I thought it might be great if I interviewed the man behind the book.
I love that you've gone all formal. When you run this podcast, you take over in a big way.
Well, I'm going to ask you a whole heap of questions.
I feel like I've got the school principal breathing down my neck and telling me I'm in trouble.
You're terrible.
Okay.
Today we're going to have a great conversation. I'm going to ask you some questions and we're going to find out how this book actually came about and what led you to go down the path you went specifically with the book. I'm going to give you a lightning round.
I love lightning rounds.
I'm going to see if I can stump you once or twice.
I love it.
And then we're going to pull it all together at the end.
You're looking at all your notes. Like you've come prepared. I told you that you needed to prep, but I wasn't quite sure that didn't expect that this is where we would end up. Let's see how it goes. The interview that I've just found out about commences next. Hello, welcome to the Happy Families podcast.
That's my job.
Oh, I'm so used to just doing it. I'm so
Seriously?
sorry. Okay, all right, you do it. You've got your notes. I'm just going to be the passenger. You told me you were driving.
Hello, welcome to the Happy Families podcast, where you get real-life parenting solutions every day. We're the most downloaded parenting podcast in Australia.
Yeah.
And today, we're talking to Dr. Justin Coulson about his brand new book, Boys.
I wish that we were videoing this. We must be one of the only podcasts that doesn't video, but you are so animated. Your hands are going everywhere. Like, you are really in control of this podcast. Okay, so let's talk about it because, I'm pumped. The book's out. It's on shelves. You can buy it right now. You can walk into a bookstore in a shopping centre if you still do those things, or get online, and they'll literally they'll post it to you.
Stop talking.
Okay, sorry.
I haven't asked you a question yet.
I don't have to do this. It's so hard.
So I may not have written the book.
No, you didn't.
And I may not have had the sleepless nights that you had.
Oh,
but I have stood beside you
Yes.
through thick and thin while this book has come about. And one of the number one questions that people have wanted to know when you have said that your next book was all about boys, being a father of all girls, is what made you feel equipped to write a book on this topic?
If I had $1 for every time I've been asked that question, and I started doing a cheeky response when people would ask me, like over the last few years, I'd be like, there's plenty of male doctors who have written about childbirth, right? Like, just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean that you don't have a whole lot of research and a whole lot of other kinds of experience. And ultimately, I'm not sure if that's the most helpful analogy. You didn't look convinced by it when I just said it.
I think the one that I've heard you say is there's lots of male gynecologists out there.
Well, same. I don't know if that's, but here's the thing. I've got skin in the game. We've got 6 daughters. They're interacting with boys every single day. I work with and talk to and even mentor a lot of young men. And these young men are the ones who are growing into the men of our future. They're going to marry our daughters and they're going to be running our societies, and as will lots of girls. But right now, there's a whole lot of challenges that boys are experiencing. And I had this really beautiful experience. I hope that she doesn't mind me sharing this. One of my colleagues, somebody else who does a lot of this parenting stuff, Michelle Mitchell, she writes great books. She does fantastic presentations, really, really wonderfully respected. And she was approached by her publisher who said, we think you should write a book about boys. And she was so kind. When I was speaking to her after this experience, she said, I knew that you were working on one, but I actually told the publishers that you were and that I wouldn't do it as a result. But more than anything, I just think you're the right person to do it. Like, having that vote of confidence from a colleague who I really think it just has a beautiful warmth and a wonderful way of engaging with parents and supporting them.
And a mother of boys.
And a mother of 2 boys herself. For her to say that, it just gave me the boost that I needed, the shot in the arm, because every now and again I've wondered myself, shouldn't I? I can tell you right now with the result, I'm so glad that I did it. And I think that parents are also going to feel that way. So yeah, skin in the game. And it just felt like it was the right book at the right time. And I feel like I was the right person to do it as well.
How much of Logan's experience, this is your nephew who committed suicide, this is a little bit of a tough one, but how much of your nephew Logan's story fueled your need to write this book?
Okay, so the book is dedicated to my dad and also to Logan. It's a book about boys. It's a book about masculinity. I'd been working on the book for a couple of years, I think, about a year and a half, when we lost Logan to suicide. And I kind of threw the book out at that point and just thought, I need to write this differently. This book is not going to help parents the way they need to be helped. There was something about losing Logan that sharpened my focus, that brought the gravity of what I was writing about home in a way that I don't think anything else could. And it was just a really impactful episode. I don't write about it in the book. I've dedicated the book to him, but I haven't really written about it in the book. I want to give parents hope, and a story like that maybe doesn't, but that is what inspired me to make this book. That is probably the reason that I agonized over it the way that I did. I would say that the book would have been finished 2 years ago had we not lost Logan. But in losing Logan, it made me rethink so much about this book and the intensity with which I wrote, and my desire to get it as right as I could is very much based on that shattering experience.
So my next question, you've kind of answered, but I wonder if there's any more that you'd add to it. This is your 11th book. And just in case anyone was wondering, I have sat through all of them.
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
But why was it different to write this one?
Well, Logan is a massive reason that it was different. I would also say, when I talk to parents about raising their kids, their questions about boys carry a weight that questions about girls don't. I mentioned this in yesterday's conversation as we were sort of reading some of the book. It just feels like the whole world is on the side of girls, and rightly so. But it feels like a lot of people are against boys, or are questioning whether or not there's anything we can do for boys, and are really seeing boys as the problem. So when we talk about girls, most people say the world has not supported girls and therefore we need to get behind them. So therefore everyone's behind girls, which is wonderful. I don't think that same attitude exists when it comes to boys, and parents are feeling it. Parents of boys, sometimes they'll tell me, it's like, I don't like telling everyone that I've got boys because I feel like I'm being judged because there are some boys out there that are doing things challenging. So once again, trying to give hope, trying to define masculinity, trying to talk about how we can create structures and systems in our families, in our homes, and in our society that are going to support boys to be the best versions of themselves that they can be. It was an ordeal. It was harder to write than anything else. And the thinking that I had to do to get this together was challenging. Oh, I should also add, typically when I write a book, I write it, I do a second edit, maybe a third edit, the publisher goes through it, we do a final edit, and it goes to print. Like, that makes it sound very easy. They've always been challenging, but with this one, you've watched, I think I've done approximately 15 drafts of this book.
I stopped believing you when you said it was done.
Yeah, that's right.
I literally did.
What I meant was this draft is done, and now I'm going to take a month off, and then I'm going to write it again. So I've never written this many drafts of a book, and the feedback, like I went out to, there's probably been 20 to 30 different people who have all either read the entire book or parts of it. Psychologists, people who work with men and boys, people who run not-for-profits for men and boys, regular parents across the board. I've had so much input from people who are really, really doing it. And that made it, harder to write, but also it made it a vastly better book as well. So that would be what I would say without getting even deeper into the process.
And then my part two to that question is, did it feel different finishing this book compared to your others?
Oh, yeah, I cried. I felt relief when I finished other books, but I felt, yeah. And it's so funny as well, because every book that I've finished, as I read back through it later on, I mean, there are some books that I don't sell anymore. I know that they've helped people, but I don't carry them around the country and sell them when I'm giving talks anymore, because I feel like my more recent work has been better.
Well, you would hope so.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
We learn, we grow, we improve.
But people still bring those books to me to sign,
change.
and they're like, can you please sign it? Because it's made it, like, those books have helped people's families. I know it. I'm grateful for it. I'm still proud of the books. But, gee, I'd write all of them, or most of them, quite differently if I was to go again. This book, I know it's only just been done. No. This book, though, like I read it when I had to do the audio version a couple of months ago in the studio. I closed it and I just thought, yeah, I'm content. I'm satisfied.
The data on boys is pretty confronting in the book. But what was the single statistic that stopped you in your tracks?
There are so many stats in this book, but I've tried to make them really accessible and readable and part of a narrative. But there was one stat that I want to single out here because it highlights so much of why it's code red for so many of our boys. So the data shows that in primary school, for every 10 girls who are suspended, and the reality is it's pretty hard to get 10 girls suspended, but for every 10 girls that are suspended, there are 57 boys.
Wow.
So it's nearly 6 times the number of boys who are suspended than girls in primary school. Now that's kind of an eye-opening stat anyway, because in primary school, like how bad do you have to be to get suspended from primary school?
I was going to say, I don't actually think I personally know a girl who's been suspended.
Yeah, and in those early years, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, or prep, depending on what state you're in, it's almost all boys. As they get older, that's when the girls start to sort of trickle through. The reason that I extracted that stat off the top of my head as you asked that question was it's because of the downstream effects of that. See, every time you take a child, we'll say a boy in this case because they're 6 times more likely in primary school, every time you take a child out of the classroom, that boy then goes home and he's excluded socially, which means that his relationships don't move on in the same way that everybody else is doing. When he comes back, children see him differently because he's been a troublemaker, because he's been in trouble and caused difficulty. The teachers will treat suspended children differently quite often. There is a bias that has been measured, and I talk about that in the book. And the child also feels less competent because he's not up to date with the work. As he feels less competent, he's more likely to put his head on the table, stare out the window, niggle somebody, kick somebody, react poorly because he doesn't know how to do it. He feels like he's been forced into this situation, and the cycle continues. It gets worse and worse and worse until we see boys checking out. One of the things that blew me away was just how many boys said, I feel like I'm targeted as a student at school. Like there's a really big challenge. And if you multiply that, not just from those early primary years, but into the later primary years and then into high school, it explains part of the reason why we see many boys dropping out early, not doing as well in all the standardized, nationalized tests, why they're less likely to go to university, and why so many of them are less likely to thrive. To like 1 in 8 grade 9 boys is functionally illiterate.
In today's day and age, that just blows my mind.
It's unacceptable in today's in our modern society. It is unacceptable. Full stop. End of story. So, I mean, there are a million other stats. So we need to take a break.
Hang on a sec. This is my podcast.
I'm sorry. I'm driving.
I'm driving.
I'm so sorry. I took over.
So after the break,
right,
we're going to do a lightning round. I'm going to try and stump you.
Right.
And then we might have 1 or 2 questions at the other end. Stay with us. We're back. It's the Happy Families podcast. I'm interviewing Dr. Justin Coulson, the man behind the book Boys.
This is great.
So lightning round. I teased everyone. We're going to do it.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Remember, a lightning round means that you only answer really short answers.
I know.
Yep.
You're torture for me.
Don't overthink it.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Boy mum or boy dad? Who has it harder?
Boy mums.
Why?
Because they do stress about stuff more. Like the heavy hitting questions that I get, the worried looks that I get. I get dads who are worried about their sons without question, but mums carry that weight in a way that I just don't see on the shoulders and in the faces of dads. Mums are the ones who are going, oh my goodness, I'm dying here.
One thing you did as a parent of daughters that you would do differently if you had sons?
Oh, that's a really good one. We didn't put any of our kids into gymnastics. And if I had sons, I would put them into gymnastics.
You're only saying that now because you're watching all the guys in the gym muscle up and they all did gymnastics. Is that
all of the strongest men I know, all the guys who can do all these calisthenics moves like planches and muscle ups and dips and whatever else, they were all gymnasts when they were kids. Like gymnastics makes strong boys. I would love to change the narrative around gymnastics in Australia because what I'm about to say is not appropriate in 2026, but I'm going to say it anyway. When I was a kid, if a boy was doing gymnastics, he would have been, remember my 1975 baby, he would have been absolutely pilloried and called every homosexual slur you can imagine. And yet, oh my goodness, the guys that I see in the gym who can do all the gymnastic stuff, the handstands, like their shoulders. Anyway, that's my answer. Gymnastics, lightning round. I don't get a second bite at this.
Andrew Tate or a wet sock? Which one is more useful to a teenage boy?
Oh, wet sock every day of the year.
What's he going to do with a wet sock?
Nothing, but that's better than what he's going to do with Andrew Tate. I know it's a lightning round. Let me add some nuance. One of the reasons that Andrew Tate is popular is because he does say stuff that is good. And I cringe saying it. I hate saying it. I wish I wasn't saying it. But writing the book, I trawled through heaps of Andrew Tate stuff. And he is putrid. He is absolutely foul. I will never endorse the guy and the people like him. But he says enough stuff that's good that kids go, oh, this is useful, which makes the other stuff easier to swallow. But yeah, I would rather, if I had a son, I would rather give him a wet sock than access to Andrew Tate.
The manosphere.
That's such a great question.
The manosphere in 3 words.
Sewage dressed up.
One thing boys are genuinely better at than girls, and you can't say sports.
Oh, I was going to say sports. Do you know what boys are better at than girls? And we've got evidence all over the place for this. Their ability to let go of things.
I was going to say compartmentalize.
Yeah. It's not even compartmentalizing, though. It's not like they go, oh, I'm going to store that away for later and put it in the compartment. They'll say what they need to say. They'll work through this thing, and then they just get on with it.
When I say compartmentalize, though, I mean they can listen to their mates have a hard time and share all of their kind of, emotional junk, and they recognize that that's theirs. So they can sit with them in it, but they don't take it home with them. Whereas girls, we do. We kind of carry it in our hearts.
I've got another 3 words for the manosphere.
Okay.
Hunger. Badly fed.
All right, last question.
Okay, sorry. I really like that question. That was a good one.
Actually, no, that's it.
Boys deserve better. Boys deserve better. There's my 3 words. I like them all. Okay. Hey, our time's up. I know you're driving. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, a couple more quickly. 3 more. Can I squeeze 3 more in?
We're
going to do it anyway.
Yep.
There's a lot of noise about toxic masculinity, but you take a really different approach.
Yeah.
What is it?
The more we talk about toxic masculinity, the more boys feel ashamed and the more girls hate boys. It's just such an unproductive conversation. What I've also noticed as I've been doing the research for this book is that people who are really working hard in this area are starting to use that term less or avoid it completely. I don't think it's helpful to be talking about half the population of the planet as toxic. It's just so dreadfully unhelpful. And there are so many good men. You and I, we're surrounded by really, really good men and boys, and you would never use the word toxic in relation to them. So we just need to stop it. And my focus has been on healthy masculinity. The whole book is about healthy masculinity. What is it? How can we help boys to aspire towards it? That's the goal. That's the end game. That's what we're working towards. So you go where you're looking. And if you keep on looking at the toxic side, that's where you go. But if you can look at the healthy side, you'll end up there. That's what we need to focus on.
So if a mum's listening today and she's genuinely scared or concerned about the man her son's becoming, what would you say to her?
So before I talk to her, I would actually say, you have really thought about some careful questions here. I'm so grateful for that question. I would say, unfortunately, it's all too understandable that you might be worried about it. The world that your son is navigating is, I genuinely believe, it's legitimately harder in some ways than any previous generation has ever confronted. But then I'd say this: the fact that you're scared means that you're paying attention, but maybe paying attention to the wrong things. Either way, paying attention is where it starts. Most of the mums that I've talked to who are worried because their sons have some sort of problem where they've slipped up, what happens is we get into correction and direction mode. And every conversation becomes a lecture, and every interaction becomes a negotiation or a battle. And their son, I was going to say, has quietly closed the door on conversation, but sometimes they don't quietly close the door at all. Sometimes they just slam the door, right? And so I would say connection has to come before correction. Always. You cannot lecture a boy into becoming a good man. Like, at no point is he going to look at you and say, oh, well, you've convinced me now. I've seen the error of my ways. Thank you for that 430-second lecture. It's finally the one that's tipped me over the edge, and now I'm going to be a good man. That's not what happens. Again, you get what you're focused on. So I would say this: instead of trying to lecture him into becoming a good man, love him into it. I'm getting weepy just thinking about it, right? If you are patient enough and honest enough, and you recognize that life is long and kids are going to make mistakes, and if you're willing to just sit with him and work with him at his pace, in his way, I think the research is beautifully hopeful there. Because boys who have just that one person who is there for them, no matter what, who genuinely believes in them, they're the ones who usually figure it out. They don't always figure it out on the spot, and certainly not in our timing, but they do. And my response to that question ultimately for that mum who's struggling is, you can be that person. He just might not be showing you that you are that person right now.
I know you wrote the book, but I would add...
And male role models.
I was about to say, I would add, be really intentional about finding positive role models, male role models that can be part of that village for him.
Yeah.
That's really important.
I've written a whole chapter on it, and it matters so deeply.
So as we finish this sentence. A good man is someone who...
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, I can finish that one. We can finish quickly. A good man is someone who gives more than he takes, who adds surplus value. A good man is a chair stacker, the one who recognizes that the event is over and somebody needs some help to get everything put together and put away. A good man is someone who helps the people around him feel safer and stronger.
The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Coulson at Bridge Media. Mim Hammonds provides additional admin support, and if you'd like any more info or would like your own copy...
I was going to say, are you going to plug the book here?
would like your own copy of Boys, you can find it...
Oh, I need to do this bit. Booktopia.com.au or wherever you get your books. It's in stores today. Oh, and tonight, if you have purchased the book and you've got your receipt number logged at happyfamilies.com.au, and ask me anything. Literally, ask me anything about boys, and I'm going to do my best to be helpful for you in your parenting, making your family happier. Okay, we need to wrap it up there. You happy with that one?
I think it's a wrap.